This is day 5 of Sarah Boone's trial, and it has been a war. This entire morning has been a war zone between all the attorneys getting fired up, getting angry. The judge seemingly was pushed to his limit. It has been a crazy morning. So we're going to talk about it. We're going to discuss the different battles that are happening and the judge trying to mitigate it all. So if you didn't watch any of my pretrial hearings on this case, I'm going to play a quick clip because I think it's relevant with how things ended up today.
Judge, I think she said she didn't know what, she said that she had alcohol under the influence or impaired.
The objection is, the court does not entertain speaking objections. The legal grounds need to be provided. What are the legal grounds of your objection?
I know that she had said she didn't know what it was.
What are the legal grounds of your objection?
I'll withdraw.
All right, you may proceed.
So in that, James Owen kept doing objections, but nothing that was with a legal standing. There was nothing other than feelings and not liking certain things, but no legal ground. So it wouldn't work. And the judge would keep asking him, and he would try to maybe say something, but every single time it just couldn't go through. He has to have legal standing in order to object. This morning, this was all he did. He objected to so many things. The judge kept asking for him to say legally why, and there really wasn't anything. Every once in a while, there were a couple things that he would kind of get through, but no. And it caused them to have to make the jury to leave, and they kept having to do sidebars so the jury couldn't hear when they were back in the room. It was chaos. And the witness on the stand was clearly getting annoyed with James Owen. And so every time there was a sidebar, she would turn and have her back to the sidebar, but be facing the jury. And every once in a while, you can see that she's making eye contact. She's kind of smirking. I wish she didn't do any of this. It wasn't helpful. And it was clear that it was in a negative light towards James Owen, who, you know, he's doing his job. At least Sarah Boone got a lawyer who was willing to fight for her, because he just isn't having the best legal arguments, and it caused this to happen today. So yesterday, the defense said that they were hoping to wrap up on Friday, but it sounds like the defense is trying to rest today. And that could mean another reason why Owens is pushing so hard on all of these things. He wants to end it in a certain light for Sarah Boone and have the jury walk away with different things highlighted. And he's currently not getting those things that he wants, so he's fighting hard for them. But I don't think the jury is going to walk away, at least from what's been going on this morning, in a good light. So I didn't do a recap yesterday. Didn't really have time. I had parent-teacher conferences, busy. But I guess the one thing that I had been thinking about through the night was that I think when it comes to Sarah Boone's trial, we had just witnessed, there were 3 different murder trials that went on 2 months ago. 2 women in Florida were accused of killing their husband. And a lady on the East Coast, I don't remember, but 2 of them were found guilty and 1 of them wasn't. And if you go and review their cases, the 2 that were found guilty were saying that it was unintentional. They were trying to protect themselves, but they weren't trying to kill him. And everything that led up to that showed that they were the aggressor or they overcompensated. And the one that was found innocent, there had been many documents for years of really bad abuse that she went through. And at the time that she actually did kill her husband, it wasn't in that moment that she was threatened because he was sleeping on the couch, but she was afraid that when he woke up that he was going to kill her. But all of these years, really, really bad abuse. So many witnesses can testify that he was horrible to her, just horrible things, right? And so I was thinking about it for Sarah's case, and clearly both of them had suffered from abuse and just a very toxic relationship together, and horrible to themselves, not treating themselves right either. But I think for Sarah's case, the fact that she has changed her story so many times, she said she didn't remember, she didn't mean to leave him in there. Alcohol was clearly a big component, and that wasn't a component in any of these other 3 trials. And so, now later they're trying to say, oh, she did it because if he would have gotten out, she was afraid of what could happen. But I think the changing of stories and the component of alcohol, I think that really seals her fate in this. It's hard to go back and justify other things and say, okay, well, this is why it happened, when those 2 things are such a big factor in it. I still feel bad for both parties. He shouldn't have had to die. They both shouldn't have had to go through what they went through. But at the end of the day, I don't think that this was a self-defense case. I think that, sure, maybe she had feelings of fear at different times and different things that were going on. But at the end of the day, I think her initial statements were the correct one. And that is, she didn't mean to leave him in there. She would have never done that to kill him. And alcohol made her go upstairs and go to sleep. And so that draws into manslaughter. Now, once again, though, she recorded those videos that night, and that elevates it. So I think she is most likely going to get that 2nd-degree murder. And, maybe the jury will go with manslaughter. But I think that if there was more documented proof, if she had been in the right state of mind and not in a blackout state that she clearly must have been in to not recall many of these things, then I think maybe there would have been some different things. Also, having witnesses to come in and say that they saw the abuse, they can testify to his character and how she would behave. She did have one person come and testify on her behalf, and that was a neighbor who lived 5 doors down, who Sarah would talk to, and they were friendly and she was kind to her. But that's not enough. They needed somebody to come in and say, hey, he has past abuse, maybe with ex-wives, I don't know, or witness things, but they don't have any of that. And that is what the other Florida trial who was found innocent had, was so many years of people knowing this horrible stuff, and there wasn't any drugs or alcohol in play. It was her fear and her horrible things that she had gone through. So we'll see how it turns out. I'm planning on doing another recap video for later today, but I wanted to do one for this morning because it's just been so crazy. So tune in later. I'll have more edits showing clips of what went on today and how today actually ends, if they rest or if it's going to continue on till tomorrow.